Hello and welcome to the podcast. Today we're going to be talking about what to do when you're being forced to work with an intermediary in business. In other words, what we're talking about today is this. Sometimes you are in that situation where there are two or three parties in the middle of a transaction. There is you, then there is the client, then there is a connector, a middleman, a middlewoman, whoever it is that you want to call, whatever it is we want to call that person. And these situations can get tricky for a number of reasons. And that's why we're going to be looking at it today. Also, because there's one of my clients based in Lagos, they're in the business of content production, and they are precisely in this situation. They are the ones who provide content production, and there's a client who needs the service, and there's somebody in the middle who has made the connection, but this person in the middle won't just get out of the way. And of course, it creates problems. But how for do? We are Nigerians now, so it's just one of these things we have to deal with. If this is your first time listening to the podcast, my name is Tavershima Ayede. I am a former lawyer turned business consultant. I'm making today's recording out and about. The kids are having catechism classes, and I'm in the parking lot. So expect to hear some noise in the background, whether it's instructors shouting or children running about or, people just cleaning the compound. Well, and then, of course, there's a construction site right next to the church because there is another shopping mall coming up in Abuja. Everywhere in Abuja, shopping mall, shopping mall. So, it's one of these things. Anyway, so, of course, you know that we're not here today to talk about Abuja or my family situation. So, we're talking about what to do when you're being forced to work with an intermediary in business. Oh, by the way, if you'd love to get in touch with me, you can call, send me a text message, or send me a WhatsApp message on 080 6466 2140. So again, we are dealing with a situation where there are two or three people in this transaction, in this business marriage. There's you, there's the client, there's the middleman, middlewoman, the connector, the whatever. So you are the person who has the product. You are the person who has the service. You are the person who is going to do fulfillment. Now, if you've been listening to the podcast for any length of time, you know that fulfillment just means carry out the work. So, for my clients who are in the business of social content production for businesses, fulfillment means when they actually design the campaign, when they actually execute the campaign. Now, for another client of mine who is in the solar space, fulfillment means when the time actually comes to install the inverter equipment, install the battery, put the solar panel up on the roof, those sorts of things. So there is you, and this is your own responsibility. You have the product, you have the service, you're the one who does fulfillment. Then there's the client. The client is the beneficiary. The beneficiary is the person who is receiving the benefit of what it is that you are doing. So the person on top whose house you go and put solar panel, that is the client. That also is the person who is paying the bills. Then there is the middleman, there's the connection, the connector, the person who made the introduction, the person who called you to say, "Oh boy, how far?" You say, "I'm good, man, I'm good." So what in there now? Any better? The person say, "Yeah, so that I met chief so and this and this and this and that." And the guy saying you want to do solar. That's the reason why I'm buzzing you, because you're the solar guy. You say, no problem now, hook me up now. I don't want a small thing. So what kind of house is this? Blah blah blah. You start having the conversation. You tell the guy that, let me put you in. I beg now, just put me in touch with chief. Let me find out what chief wants. But then the middleman will start to play funny. He won't give you chief's phone number. He won't carry you to the office to go and see chief. Excuse me. The guy always wants to be in the middle. He won't put you in direct contact with the chief. And we're in Nigeria, so we understand. You know the reason why the guy doesn't want to connect you directly to chief? Because he doesn't want you to go there and then secure a deal of like 50M, and then maybe by the time you finish, you now remove maybe like 500K and then dash him. No, 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 no. He's not going to be happy with that. That for this kind of connection, how you give him 500K? The guy wants to be in the middle so that at the end of the day, he will say, "This is my 10% or this is my 20%. The middleman, the connector, is looking out for his own pocket. He's not really concerned about chief. He just wants his own. He wants his own pound of flesh. So, for those of you Who find yourselves in situations where there's a connector, there's a middleman, there's a middlewoman, and then you begin to frustrate. Like, why are you getting frustrated? Calm down. We're in Nigeria. This is just how it happens. Eh? You have your own interest. Chief has his own interest. This middleman has his own interest. So getting angry is not going to solve the problem. You can't wish these people away. In fact, when we're new in business, sometimes these middlemen, these middlewomen, these connectors, sometimes they're a good way for us to enter into the business. So don't be angry. What we do now, what we're going to do here today on this podcast episode is we're going to figure out how we can solve this problem. Oh, by the way, speaking of solving problems, if you have 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10 business ideas, no matter how many, you're trying to run all of them, but you're not making a single kobo with any of those businesses, then stop wasting your time. What you need to do is you actually need to reach out to me, because I talk to people all the time who are facing these kinds of problems. Talk to me so I can help you figure out which of these business ideas is the best one to pursue. After that, we're going to validate the business idea. We're going to show the one that there's actual demand for, that people are willing to pay for, and that people are willing to pay well for. And then after that, we're going to come up with a selling system for you so that you can have regular revenue. So if you're in that situation, you're juggling a bunch of ideas, you don't know how far, you don't know how to make this thing work, then reach out to me. I gave my phone number at the beginning of the podcast episode, but here it is again. It is 080-6466-2140. So reach out to me and let's help you get your business started in 3 easy steps. So back to what I was saying now. So this whole connector, hookup dynamic. The problem is whenever there is somebody in between, it now becomes he said, she said, they said. And that they said, he said, she said, Kai, is bad. Communication is hampered. The reason why that's a problem is because let's look at these my 2 clients now. If you're in the solar space, there's something that you need to do, which is need analysis. And need analysis is a very technical thing. So if you're in the solar space, you actually need to find out what kind of house does Chief live in? What kind of roof does Chief has? Is the roof facing to the east or to the west? How many kind of solar panels can go on Chief's roof? How many deep freezers does Chief want to power? How many TVs? How many fridges? How many this? How many that? Does Chief have children? Does Chief's children, do they have maybe PlayStation 4 inside all of their rooms? And this and this and that and that. What exactly is Chief trying to power? The building that Chief wants to power, is it an office or is it a residential something? If it is an office, what are the kind of things that they power? Is it machines that are going on there? Okay, if it's a residential something, do people live there every single time of the year and is everything always on? Abi, is it just a holiday house that people come once in a while, every 2 months, and then they leave? So, if you're in the solar space and your friend has got this kind of connect now, that's the problem. You actually need direct access to Chief because you need all this information direct and you need it quick so that you can give them a quote or so that you can, whatever it is, you need the information quick. Now, when there's a middleman, it will slow things down. Communication will be hampered because the middleman will have to talk to Chief first. Then Chief will now tell that middleman what's up. The middleman will now relate it to you. Now, for any of us who have been in this situation, we know that it is not effective. In fact, it is inconclusive. Inconclusive just means we no go fit conclude because the middleman will always forget 1 or 2 things that have very, very serious implications about how we'll do this job. About the kind of quote that we will draw up or about the kind of configuration that we'll use when we're putting the solar panels on top of the house. So all this kind of middleman, whatever, always causes serious quarrel. Now, the reason why it causes quarrel because expectations are unclear. And the thing is, if Chief has told your middleman what's up, the middleman no relate them to you in a very clear way, and then there's basic going forward, there's problem. You think your middleman is going to say, Chief, no vex, na me F up. the middleman will throw you under the bus. And that's one of the reasons why these things are very, very frustrating. Because for you, you're just trying to do a job and collect your money. But then this middleman is there and he's just frustrating everything. He's frustrating chief. He's frustrating himself. He's frustrating me. Now, when expectations are unclear and when obligations are unclear like this is not the best. This is not the best way to talk to a potential customer, to be talking to that customer through the person. But remember what I said. The reason why we have this impasse, the reason why we have this breakdown is because the first guy that is hooking you up, his own concern is he wants his commission, or he wants his appreciation, or he wants his payment, he wants his money, whatever it is that we call it. And then also sometimes people are guarding relevance and social currency. You understand? So if you need to get to President Tinubu, for instance, there are some people who will never give you direct access to the president because that is their relevance, that is their social currency. It will always be a matter of, okay, you want to pass a message to the president, tell me, I will tell president. Whatever president says, I will tell you. So these are the reasons why. Some people want appreciation or they want commission. Other people are trying to preserve their relevance and their social currency. Now, what is the solution? Since we've been able to spell out what the problem is, and remember what I said, the solution is not to get angry. At least not now. If this is the first time you're jamming it, don't get angry. What we need to do is we need to have some very, very frank conversations. Excuse me. Obviously, you can't have a frank conversation with Chief because the guy has not given you the direct access to Chief. So the first thing you do when you have a connector like this, who is looking at his own pocket, looking at his own appreciation. Okay, well, women too are in this situation. In fact, if you're dealing with a woman, hey, if I let me not talk. At least if it's a guy, you'll be able to say, I'm a guy. How now? You'll be able to talk to one or two things. But if it's a woman, she'll be like, so because I'm small, you think you can do me like this, you can do me like that. She will now double down. You will now be in a worse situation. So, sorry, I'm not trying to feel sexist, say anything sexist. I'm just being real. Usually, women in business in this part of the world, they actually have to be more, what's that word? They have to be more, how will I put it? Like they have to take a stand so that nobody will say, now woman, we will do her like this, we will do her like that. So actually, they need to stand firm. hmm So I'm just saying that, sometimes unknowingly we trigger one or two things. I've been in that situation. I was talking to a lady and I wanted to give them some suggestions about some of the campaigns that we're working on. So I said, oh, madam, did you consider this? Madam, did you consider that? And I didn't realize that every single time I said, madam, the woman was taking it as a jab or as a cut. Me, I was trying to be respectful. But every single time I said, madam, the woman was taking it at me, I was jabbing her. Like calling her madam when she's not really, like, as if like I'm abusing her or calling her authority into question or something like that. But honestly speaking, I was just trying to be respectful. In fact, I've learned my lesson because since then, there are a couple of women who have told me, do not call me madam. And I have to say, oh, sorry, ma, no vex. I'm just trying to be respectful. What would you like me to call you? And I'm still working on it because there's some people who say, no, just call me Alice. And I'm like, madam, Naija we do. If people see us outside and I'm saying, Alice, how are you doing? Like, they will slap me. Like, you're my mom's age mate. I can't be saying, good morning, Alice. I said, I can't. So sometimes I try to get around it. I say ma once in a while. Maybe I say auntie or something. There's some people that the thing still causes quarrel. My wife has said, what's your own? If she says call her Alice, just call her Alice. Anyway, maybe maybe one day I'll have the liver. Look at my mom's age mate. And I'll say, oh, good morning, Alice. How are you doing? How are the children? Hey, anyway, let me move on. So we need to have a frank conversation now with that middleman or that middlewoman. Now, first of all, since these people are just worried about themselves, we have to play into the whole thing. I know some of you won't like it, but hey, the money will be fine. When you have an obstacle, we have to go through it somehow. If based on principle you don't like doing these things, then just fashi. Just fashi. Or somebody I was talking to, I can't remember. The guy said he would never call anybody bigger bros. I said, okay, no problem. You don't want to call people bigger bros. It's not as if it's compulsory, but there are that times that it's Niger that we just do one of those things. Say, hey, senior man, I hail you. What's going on now? It's money you're looking for. Say the thing, get out of the way. I'm not saying go and grovel. I'll never recommend any of you should grovel. Anyway, let me just keep going. So, first of all, now they only care about themselves. No problem. Let's continue. So, first of all, you thank the person, you would acknowledge the person. You say, guy, I appreciate you because, if not because of you, I will not get this kind of connect at all. Thank you very much, my brother. Thank you very much, my sister. You put that one out there. You smoothing their ego. And even if you think you could have gotten this job without them, as far as they are concerned, they are the ones who are the alpha and the omega. They are the ones who are the way. They are the ones who are connecting you to eternal life. So it doesn't matter what you think. So let's just get this over with. You say, bros, if not because of you, if I not get this kind of connect, like how for no presidency? My guy, I appreciate you. Then you now move straight into intentions. You tell the person, now look, say, bros, see this situation that we're in here. I want to do a very good job here because this kind serious contract like this, I don't want to rubbish your own reputation. I don't want to rubbish my own reputation. Because if we don't handle this thing well and I rubbish your reputation, who knows when we'll see this kind of opportunity again. And then like you're my guy now. Like you try to hook me up on this thing. So no how. I can't sully your own reputation. I can't. I want to do this thing well so that chief will come back again, presidency will call us again, so that they can give us good business, good contract again. So, at least before presidency, let's say this thing no work out. At least this year we'll chop one contract. Next year we'll chop one contract. If they no enter, no problem. At least we don't chop two. But how you tell the person, the intention will be like, look, I don't want to mess this thing up because I don't want to spoil your reputation. And I want us to be able to get good money again. So that's how you set the scope of the conversation. That's how you lay down the intention. Eventually, you have to start talking about money expectations because remember, whether we like it or not, money and social relevance are the root of these whole things. So, there are two ways of going about it. When it comes to sales, I've told you guys about how, for me, I like to set the expectations. There are some other people who prefer to try and tease out what the other person's expectations are. Either way is fine. So in this case, you can try and tease out the other person's expectations. You say, bros, for this kind of thing, I suppose greet you when everything don't finish. So, say if I bring 10%, go bad. Put it like a question. This is the beginning, is the opening salvo. It's just the beginning of you haggling. But start off with whatever is customary in your trade. So, like, a guy that I'm working with right now is based in Oka. He does real estate. So, for that particular part of the world, the lawyer collects 10%. So, if you are talking to the lawyer and you tell the lawyer that you give him 5%, you're insulting him. So if the lawyer normally collects 10% and the lawyer is the connector, and you tell him that you tell him 10%, that one is not an insult at all. You're recognizing what is customary. The lawyer will now say, what do you mean 10%? That 10% is my official something. We have to put something extra because I'm the one who introduced you to him. Then people will now start jumping back and forth, whether it's 15% or 20%. But whatever is customary, start from there. But you can see how, you ease into it. When this thing is over, I'd like to greet you. So if I come like this, would it be okay? But either way, we started discussing these things up front. When you discuss these things up front, these are some of the things that make people relax. Like, okay, this person that I'm connecting, that I'm bringing in on this deal, is not a greedy bastard. The guy won't shist me. The guy won't try and run away. The guy won't try and corner, So these are the things that make people relax when we start discussing these things up front. Money expectations. If you don't discuss these money expectations up front, expect that this middleman, this middlewoman will still want to stand firm in her place between you and between chief. or between president or between senator or between whoever, he or she will stand firm. When you start discussing these things, people can now start relaxing. They can start shifting because they can see that you're a serious person. You're a mature somebody. You know what's up. Game recognized game. You know what's going on. You're not trying to be too quick. So discuss these things up front. These are the kind of things that give people confidence. So they will say, okay, here's Chief's phone number, but never you call Chief. Only WhatsApp message. Or, no problem, let's go and see Chief. But never you go there on your own. Only when two of us are together. When you get to that level, it's better than he said, she said. Oh, I spoke to Chief. Chief said this, Chief said that. At least this one, when you're on WhatsApp level with Chief, you can ask directly. Or when both of you go to the house together, you can go directly. Now, that is when you try and tease out what the person is thinking, whether that 10% is good or not. Now, there are some people, like my momsy, for instance, because she was a marketing executive. And of course, like I said, Nigeria we day is just one of those things. So it doesn't matter when you started, whether you started your career in the 80s or you started into business in the 2000s. It's something that will not go away. So I've seen my mom in those kind of situations before. I've seen it. And I'm sure that for people who entered business, 2-3 decades before my mom, it was the same thing. Now, so there's some people like my mom who come forward and say, oh, how can I say thank you? And they put the ball in the person's court. Also, because sometimes when you put the ball in the person's court, if they're reasonable somebody, how will I put it? Their sense of shame will take over and they won't call something that is too high. Anyway, but these are just two general approaches. But we can't run away from the fact that, look, this middleman, this middlewoman, she wants something. We both know that he or she wants something. The sooner we start talking about what this something is, what constitutes this something, what is a sufficient something, we can get people to start to relax on one or two things. Who knows? If you conduct yourself well, who knows? You might even get the phone number and they say, oh, you know what? Just whenever you need to call Chief, call him. Whenever you need to see Chief, see him. Just keep me updated. You never know. So, in fact, this update is also another mistake that some of us make. Now, whether somebody says they want something or they don't want something, it is just good business practice, whether in Nigeria or America or in the Netherlands or in Antarctica. It is just good practice to regularly update people. Any referral, just be updating somebody. Somebody gives you a referral and they tell you 10%, be updating them when things go on. Somebody gives you a referral and they say, no, I'm just doing it because, I'm a Christian. No, don't give me commission. I don't need commission. No problem. Whatever the terms, make sure that you update the person. Update the person just means you give the person phone calls or you give the person text message at major milestones. So when you establish contact with Chief, update this person. Say, bro, what's up now? That Chief where we discussed last time, I finally called him today. Update him. If commission is on the line, that's the kind of thing that will make the middleman feel at ease. Like, okay, this guy is not going behind my back. If there's no commission on the line, it's the kind of thing that will make this person feel at ease. Like, oh, okay, he's taking my referral seriously. So, phone call, SMS, WhatsApp at the major milestones. When you establish contact, give them update. Whenever you visit Chief, give them update. If you and Chief have gone for physical inspection, give them update. If you went to Chief's house, since we're talking about solar, and you climbed on the roof and you did measurement and everything, and you can fit 50 solar panels there, give the connector update. When people are at the contract stage, at the proposal stage, and you're talking money, give the guy update. When Chief makes a payment or a deposit, give the guy update. If there's any quarrel, you and Chief are quarreling, there's any setback, give the guy update. When you have started doing fulfillment, you've started doing partial delivery, you started doing installment, give the guy update, the connector. Any which way, always loop the connector in. It is just good practice. Anywhere in the world, it is good practice. If I connect you to somebody else, whether I ask you for appreciation or I don't ask you for appreciation, it's just good practice. When you call the person, you say, oh, Tavershima, what's up now? Oh, that guy, I finally called the person. Oh, this is how it went. Ah, oh, okay. If I didn't ask for anything, good. It's not a problem. You're updating me. You're showing me that you are a professional and that you're taking the referral seriously. But either way, always update. If commission is on the line, these are the kind of things that will make the person relax and they won't be afraid. Especially in Nigeria. One reason why it's very, very important is because let's say commission is on the line and you didn't update. Somehow the person will hear because it's a small world. It's a small world. Any which way you connect or will hear, they will not start thinking, I was thinking Tavershima is a correct guy. I made this introduction to him. He now went to go and see Chief behind my back. Meanwhile, it was not like that. It's not as if you're sneaking around. So let him know, because whether he like it or not, he will hear. It's a small world. He will hear that you went. Then there's some other things that we can. What was I going to say now? So I lost my train of thought. So anyhow, Sha, so we always keep this person up to date. Then for all these things that I'm suggesting, these conversations that you have with the person about the money, or when we get to the point of talking about how this thing is not working out for you, you always have to explain things from their own point of view. That's from the connector's point of view. And I already gave an example. So how what you're trying to basically what you're trying to say is that look, all these things that I'm saying, all these things that I'm suggesting, or all these changes I'm recommending is because I don't want to mess you up and I don't want to mess Chief. If you come at it saying this thing does not profiting me, this thing is not benefiting me, this thing is not good for me, that will not be an easy conversation. So it's not me. Yes, you're looking out for yourself. But to make this conversation easy, we'll pretend that we're coming from their own point of view. So it will always be you, and chief, or presidency. So you say, bro, I appreciate this connect. But then you now have to be honest, like, bro, no vex. But I got to be honest with you. This back and forth is making me slip on a few things. Because you see now, this chief's house, based on this back and forth, that's how I didn't know that his roof span is so and so. I thought the thing will carry only 45 panels, but meanwhile, there's space for 51. Then, based on the power consumption and everything, you see that this system that is now on paper is not going to be enough to power Chief's house, or to power his office, or to power his factory. So, you tell your boy. So, you tell him that, look, bro, if we continue like this, I will end up rubbishing you. If I don't do it well, I will rubbish you. And I don't want to rubbish you. I don't want to disappoint Chief. I don't want to mess up this opportunity. Because you're my guy, I appreciate you. So it is now that you now make the ask. You say, bro, I beg, next time you're going to go and see Chief, can I come with you? Let me go and see him. But of course, remember to soothe their mind because they're afraid they don't want you to hijack everything. So next time you're going to go and see Chief, can I follow you? But don't worry, when we get there, now only the technical aspect I'll be talking. Anything we concern money, I'll leave it to you. My own is I'll just talk the technical something. When we go outside, you and Chief, you can carry the money thing on your own. So that's where you now make your proposal. Next time you're going to go and see Chief, can I follow? Or, bros, it will help if the next time you want to talk to Chief, can we do group call on WhatsApp? Or can we do group meeting on Zoom? Then you'll explain to the guy the rationale that look, now once me and Chief are talking directly, when it comes to the technical something, the panel on the roof, the number of battery, the number of gas cooker, number of TV, number of AC. When we're on that level, I will now know exactly what Chief needs so I can make him happy. And once Chief is happy with this system I provide, it will be sure for us. It will be sure for you, it will be sure for me. So you can see how you're making the something. You're making the suggestions you're trying to make, the change you're trying to make. You're not trying to say, this is frustrating me. It is difficult for me. It is impossible for me to work under these conditions. It is not me. It will always be him, and chief, the prospect. So always from their own point of view. And please remember, these people who are standing in the gap, what they're looking for is their commission. A lot of times, some people are looking for social relevance. So always assure this person who is the connector that you are only going to be discussing scope or outcomes with the client. You will always leave money conversations to the other person. Start like that as a proposal. You never know. Some people will say, "Oh no, Tavershima is okay now. I trust you. It's okay. Even if it's money, discuss money with chief. Just let me know what's going on." But start off like that. Say that, look, when I'm with chief, I will only discuss the technical requirements. I will only discuss the scope of the project. I will only discuss the outcomes of the project. Tell the person like that. Oh, that when I follow you and we're in front of the president, I will only discuss the technical requirements of the project. When we are done and we leave, I will leave you to discuss money with the president or with the vice president or with the governor or with the speaker of the House of Reps, with the whatever. I'll leave all the money conversations to you. A lot of these connectors are only concerned about their share of the money. So start like that. So, going ahead, here are some simple suggestions I want to give those of you listening who are new in the business. If you find a connector that is easy with, oh, by all means, continue. Continue. If it's easy, continue. Don't look at the fact that your profit margin is small now. Just continue first until you know the lay of the land, until you know what's up, until you know your left from your right. Just continue and be happy that you found a connector that is easy to work with. Because if you ask anybody, hey, it's not easy at all. Working with all these middlemen, it's not easy. Now, if the connector is easy to work with, but the commission is too high, no problem. Try and renegotiate. But after you do like 2 or 3 jobs first. Because remember, I'll say you're trying to learn the lay of the land. And then if you're doing 2 or 3 jobs with the guy, it shows in good faith that you're trying to be, how do I put it, reasonable, appreciable. Also, you don't even know the quality of what this connector is. So I say 2 or 3 jobs because it will give you a sense of, oh, this guy, I'm going through all this stress. He's collecting 30% from me. The clients that he's bringing is not even sweet self. That person now know that you can get away, you can leave that person. But if you see that, okay, this guy is asking for 40%, but every single time the person brings jobs, it is correct jobs, that even though you don't benefit in money, at least the fact that your name is associated with this and this and this project, is still good for you. That's why I'm saying that if the commission is too high, but the person is easy to work with, give it 2 or 3 jobs, then try and negotiate. When you are renegotiating, remember what I told you guys. You start off with, bro, I appreciate you, I respect you, thank you very much for the hookup. Unfortunately, bros, my margins are really tight. And if this spread is too small, I will not be able to maintain quality when we get to bigger and bigger contracts. So, bro, the reason why I'm constrained to start talking this thing is because I don't want quality to slip when we start moving on to bigger and bigger contracts. Or I want to be able to maintain after service and warranties and this and this and this when we move to bigger and bigger jobs. Because if I F up on this one, it will spoil the possibility of other ones coming to us. So that's how you level with the guy. By the way, in case you have not figured this out, because some of you are not sharp, you won't get it. This is not the kind of conversation that you have over email. Please, this is not the kind of conversation that you have over email. In fact, let me repeat, this is not even the kind of conversation that you have over WhatsApp message. If you're going to call this kind of connector to renegotiate this thing, it had better be face to face. Go and see him in the house. Go and see him in the office. Or when he passes by your office, your house, your studio, your workshop, your whatever, you have the conversation face to face. Because when you are texting these things back and forth, there is a lot that gets lost in translation. There are some things you would type that the guy will think, what the hell? How is this small boy being so rude? That where did he come from? What didn't give him this kind of liver to be telling me this kind of thing. It happens. It happens. This madam conversation I was talking about, it was through text. I was texting her to say, oh, madam, what about this? Madam, what about that? I didn't know that every single time I put madam, the thing was just jabbing her. I type madam, she will see a jab. I type madam, she will receive a stab. But meanwhile, I was trying to be respectful. If it was face to face and I was saying, oh, madam, what about this? Madam, what about that? She would have seen that, oh, okay, this guy is trying to be respectful. Then she would have said, oh, no, 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 Tavershima, that's unnecessary. Call me Alice. So, this kind of conversation, please, this is not the kind of conversation that you send email. In fact, if you send email if you try and have this conversation over email, forget it. I think you have finished the relationship. The guy is not calling you again. Text message or WhatsApp, you stand a better chance. But please, where possible, face to face. In fact, amongst my own people, the TIC people, TIC people believe that there's some conversations that you have to wait. Like even if the person is in another state, there's some conversations that you wait until you go and see the person face to face. So, like when my father was still alive and I used to follow him, it's something I used to see. Somebody would have said, no, we haven't seen you in a long time. Now what happened? He said, that chief. That the reason why is because there's one thing that's been on my mind, and this is not the kind of thing that you talk on the phone. So I say I will call and I will come here and I'll see you face to face. He said, is it like that? I said, chief, is like that. I say, okay, no problem. If it's like that, please excuse us. Let's go inside the office. Let's go and talk. So if it's that kind of thing, then let's say the person is in Plateau, you're in Abuja. When you're in Plateau, when you have time, you drive down there and then go and have this conversation. Do not send email. Do not send email at all. It's against the rules. Don't send email. Let's say you are tight and you want to send WhatsApp. Okay, I'll manage. But please, face to face is best. Or phone call. Don't use text. Let's see what else. Another thing, when you're having this conversation, be prepared to walk away. Be prepared. Because there are some people who will not move. And there's another person I'm working with right now who is in the web development space. The middleman refused to move. The middleman said, I understand all the things you're saying. But this agreement that we've entered, forget it. We entered at 50-50. I will collect my 50%. Forget it. I'm not moving nowhere. Say, even 45%, you know, go move. Say, I won't move. 46, no. 48, no. 49, no. It must be 50. Say, but bros, I'm giving you 50%. But you know that if the margins are small, how will I pay web hosting? How will I pay this? How will I pay this? How will I pay this? The guy saying, I understand, but I know they move. So there's some people who are like that. So in that situation now, you can't be bluffing anyhow. Be prepared to say, bro, or sir, or madam, I beg, no vex. This one don't pass my power. This one don't pass my power. So be prepared to walk away when it comes to that situation. Now, there will always be quarrel in business, but in situations like this, where it is clear to everybody that you are open and you are respectful, you did all you could do, what again now? Nobody will begrudge you. The funny thing is, these kinds of connectors are only concerned about the money. The moment you move, they will find somebody else and they'll be fine. So don't worry. Don't worry. Be ready to walk away. Be ready to walk away. If the connector is difficult to work with, thoroughly difficult to work with, then in my own opinion, don't even wait for the second job. After this first job, debrief, and then in debrief you say, thank you very much, bros, thank you very much, sir, thank you very much, ma, for the hookup. I really appreciate it. And then, so I hope everything was cool for you. The money was okay for you, Abby. Good. The client is happy, Abby. There was no problem. They didn't call back. They didn't do this. Okay. Then you now say, bro, no vex. I beg, can we change XYZ terms next time? Because it is affecting my quality control. It's affecting the timelines. It's affecting fulfillment. If we continue like this, for the next one, unfortunately, it will now look bad on you. It will now mess you up. And, it will mess up our ability to be able to get more and more contract like this. So I need to make sure that quality control is tight. I need to make sure after sales service is tight. If we continue like this, bro, I can't guarantee that I won't make mistake and I won't rubbish you. And I don't want to rubbish you. How far can we change XYZ? Now, if the connector is smart, he will keep you. But I told you that there's some people who are unreasonable. Like this particular situation where for my client, the guy say, I know they move 50%. I am not moving. Guy say, on my 50%, I stand. The guy tried his best. That look, see here, I'm doing web maintenance, I'm doing this, I'm doing this. If they call us for customer support and I need to hire more team, like, for me it will now be minus and I can't continue in the minus. Say I don't marry. It's not like before. But the guy say he's not moving. Some people are like that. Ready to walk away. The connector only wants his money. Any which way, he will be fine. The summary of what I'm saying is this. If you're in a situation where you can't do effective need analysis with a client, you can't talk to the client one on one just for need analysis, alone, there are going to be too many surprises. Then there'll be frustration for you, there'll be frustration for the client. So we're trying to look for ways to exit the situation so that we can have direct connections with the customer, at least for need analysis, at least. If the connector allows you to do good need analysis and the margins are good for you, continue. The reason why I'm recommending that is because sometimes, like I said, sometimes these people open doors for us to enter into an industry. You now get a reputation in the industry. After a while, some people will start calling you direct. It's normal. In fact, what I used to do, because there was somebody who made connects for me in the NGO space. In fact, anyway, let me not go into detail. The person made some connects for me in the NGO space. After a while, people started calling me direct. What I now did was to say, "Hey, bro, what's up now? Yeah, about so and so event." I say, "Oh no, I didn't hear." I say, "Okay." Well, anyway, they reached out to me directly. I just say I should let you know. We say, they reached out to you directly. So yeah. I say, okay, so how far now? I should still send over, you know. So I sent over one or two things, but after a while I was like, nah, no need. It's okay. It's okay. I appreciate that you are honest with me. I appreciate it. They're calling you now direct, it's no big deal. No need to even be updating me anymore. And then that's how that one, rolled out. But yeah, I stuck with it for a while, even though I was giving up more than half. Yeah, I know some of you will be saying, half. I know one or two of you will slap me. But for me, that's what I was just thinking. That look, I need to enter into this place first. I need to understand what's going on. This industry, how is it like? How much do people even charge? Who are the players? So I needed to know what's up. So long as the margins were manageable for me, I needed to just enter and see the industry and then match ground first. Uh-huh. Eventually, people started calling me. Because think about it. When we're on site, who would they see? Is it the connector? It's me now. When there's a problem and you're talking to somebody's boys, who would the boys report to? The connector or me? After a while, people kind of got the point that when you call, okay, let's just call the guy's name Jigga, but that's not his real name. After a while, people figured out that any single time you call Jigga, it's Tavershima you see. So after a while, people started calling Tavershima. So it's just one of these things. Anyway, let me wrap it up. Wow, okay, this is almost 45 minutes. Okay, so I hope those of you listening have been able to get a lot of value out of the things that we have discussed so far. And if you have any questions, any comments, any queries, you can call me, send me a WhatsApp message or a text message on 080-6466-2140. Also, like I hinted at the beginning of the show, if you have 2, 3, 4 business ideas, you're not making a single kobo on any of them, reach out to me. Let me help you solve the problem. I can coach you to make sure that you pick the business idea that is right for you. Then we will validate the business idea so we can be sure that the market is willing to pay for the product or willing to pay for the service and pay the price that will make sense for you so that you can reinvest back into the business and also there's something remaining so that you can flex. Although the flexing part might come later, just letting you know. Then we will also create a selling system so that you can keep people coming back happy. Let them give repeat purchases and also so that they can make referrals. So don't stay confused because you have two, three, four business ideas. Reach out to me. Let me coach you through this thing. And let's make sure that we set you up right for business success so that you start your business in 3 easy steps. Even though I'm saying easy, there'll be some hard work involved. Don't come and say, because I said it was an easy step, that there's not going to be hard work. There's always hard work involved. But because of marketing, sometimes we'll say this one easy, this one easy. All right, anyway, so let me stop there. Thank you very much for your time and attention. I will catch you all some other time.